Hi, my name is Stephanie and I am a massive music and movie collector. As you can see around me, I collect heaps of DVDs and CDs and vinyl and everything in between. Today, I would like to talk about the movies that I watched in February. I'm also hyper aware that we're nearing the end of March, but I want to talk about all of the amazing movies that I sat down to watch last month, and then we'll do a March wrap up ASAP as well. Here is my list that I've made. Here's January, which we've already seen before. I have another video on that. And then February is here. And so apparently, according to my list, I watched 23 movies in February. I think 21 of them I had not seen before. I saw 3 of these in the cinema. Start with movie number 1. And what I've noticed is that how much time has passed since I have watched these, because I remember the day that I watched this first movie and I cannot believe that it was probably, the start of February. That honestly feels like 6 months ago, but 2 weeks ago at the same time. The first movie was Welcome to the Dollhouse, which is a 90s coming of age movie. It's pretty confronting at times because it is so real, but it's very funny and it's very quirky. I feel like you have to have a bit of an open mind to sit through it, but also you get rewarded for it because it is a very cool movie and it's very interesting. I very much enjoyed this movie. It had been on my list for a long time. Number 2 is Billy Joel, the 100th, live at Madison Square Garden. I am a massive music fan. I'm a massive fan of concerts. I'm a massive fan of going to concerts myself. I'm a massive fan of concert DVDs and concert movies, and I've seen concert movies in the cinema. I've got concert movies at home, and with this one I'm a massive fan of Billy Joel, and I went and saw Billy Joel in 2023 at the MCG, if you know where that is, in Melbourne. It was an amazing show. He's an amazing musician. You don't need me to tell you that. But what this concert was pretty much what I saw in Melbourne, and live at Madison Square Garden. So for me, I felt like I was reliving memories, and I very much enjoyed that. I love to hear live renditions of songs that I love. Number 3 is Striptease, which is a crime drama thriller comedy. It is very outlandish. It stars Demi Moore, who I love, and the reason why I firstly found this movie years ago and then bought it and then recently wanted to watch it is because my favorite song of all time is in it, and that song is If I Was Your Girlfriend by Prince, and I knew that this song was in the movie. And it's not the first time and it won't be the last time that I watch a movie just to hear one of my favorite songs or a certain song, even if it is literally for like a 10-second clip. At least this one has like a dance sequence. This movie is fun. It's very pretty. One of those movies to me where you just let it happen. If you enjoy like 90s movies and this cast and just outlandish stories, like give it a go. Like, it's fun. Number 4 is Love and Other Catastrophes. This is an Australian movie. More specifically, it is a Melbourne movie, and it follows like a day in the life of uni students who, from the beginning of the day to the night, are just going through their lives and switching classes and dealing with relationships and everything in between. And it felt cool to see places that I know. For me personally, I don't really see that in movies as much as, you would if you like live in New York, and New York is in, 1,000,001 movies. So this is lots of fun and I highly recommend it because not many people have seen it. Number 5 is Charlie XCX Alone Together, which is a music documentary which follows Charlie XCX documenting her life during lockdown after she sets a goal to pretty much finish an album in a particular time frame. It is crazy to think that 5 years ago that's what was happening. The way that she's documenting lockdown and all of that just feels like it's a whole other lifetime, but it feels so cool to see that documented as well. And I love a music documentary. I love to watch an artist do what they do. I love to see the creative process happening, and this one is super cool because it shows like her fans interacting with her and how they view the work, and you see that instant reaction to things and how things play out. So it's interesting to see the internet's effect on all of this stuff as well. Yeah, that was a really cool music documentary to watch. Number 6 was You're Cordially Invited, which is a rom-com starring Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell, and yeah, I watched that and I thought it was funny and enjoyable. Number 7 was Disaster Movie. Random scenes from this movie have been ingrained in my head over the years, even though I've never actively sat down to watch it. I don't know what possessed me to watch it, but I did, and yeah, bits of it made me laugh. I'm gonna be honest. It has that weird 2000s tinge to it. It's kind of fun to see heaps of movies that I've grown up with or that I've seen kind of parodied in very bizarre ways. Yeah, so Disaster Movie. Now we get to the point in my list where I started to watch movies specifically for the Oscars. So every year I try to watch as many of the Oscar movies as possible. I always watched the 10 Best Picture nominees, and then usually I get through the acting categories and the writing categories. Sometimes, like this year, I missed out on like a couple, but I actually did watch a lot. So the first one when I actively started to watch movies for the Oscars was Emilia Perez. Obviously a lot's been said about this movie. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. Number 9 is Flow, which I'm so happy won the Academy Award, even though that movie stressed me out. I get very stressed out by animal movies because I love animals so much and I don't like to see distressed animals, so I get very picky with things that I watch. But with this movie, you could tell that it had so much heart and soul. It was so beautiful to watch, just generally. Cats are like my favorite animals, and so that cat, I was just watching it the whole time and trying not to be stressed out by it. But right now I need like plushies of all the animals in the movie. That's what I think needs to happen. So yeah, Flow. I think everyone should watch Flow. It was fantastic. Number 10, A Real Pain. Also, I should note these 4 movies, Emilia Perez, Flow, A Real Pain, and then the following one, I watched all within a day, and that was an event and a half. So yeah, number 10, A Real Pain, which is the Jesse Eisenberg movie starring him and Kieran Culkin. Kieran Culkin ended up winning the Academy Award for it. It's very well deserved. He's fantastic in the movie. They both are. And the writing is fantastic. There's just so much to explore within that movie, and I love a great film about characters and when we're immersed in them and they're all just like right there in front of us. I think it's fantastic to see humans represented in that way. Number 11 is a movie I put off seeing for so long. I didn't see it in the cinema. I was away at the time. I also owned this for like a month before I actually watched it because I'm so freaked out by body horror. But I knew this would be amazing and everyone kept telling me to watch it and it'd be amazing. And obviously as part of the Oscars thing, that kind of pushed me over the edge. And I'm so happy that I did watch it because this movie is amazing. And yeah, I spent a lot of it like this or like this, but I very much enjoyed this movie and I think it's fantastic. Number 12 is Down with Love, which is a film from 2003 and it's starring Renee Zellweger and Ewan McGregor. And this movie is, I guess it's paying homage to the like 1960s styles of romantic comedies that have a bit of innuendo and they're very flirty and very bright and pretty. And so like this movie is stunning to look at and like the apartments and the outfits and everything is really cool. And it also kind of follows that bizarre like plot twists and it goes around in circles for a bit in like an adorable way rather than a bizarre where are we going with this sort of thing. And these two give great performances and it is a really fun movie and I think pretty underrated. Number 13 was The Longest Week, which was, I guess, a romantic drama starring Jason Bateman and Olivia Wilde. It's about like an artsy couple over a week, but yeah, it's just like a fun little watch. Next, we are back on the Oscar movies. This is The Apprentice. I watched it in particularly for the performances by Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong, as they were both nominated for Academy Awards for this film. I will say this movie is so pretty. It felt like I was watching like 1980s MTV, which was super cool. These performances, of course, were amazing. It's a very interesting subject matter, and I'm glad I watched it. So the next one I didn't watch with my physical copies of Mulholland Drive. I say physical copies because I have the Criterion Collection copy too, which is stunning. Anyway, I got to see Mulholland Drive in the cinema, and that was really cool because there was so many of us, and I'd never seen a David Lynch film in the cinema before, and it was so loud and so cool and pretty and so immersive. And obviously our reason for being there was kind of sad in that it was to celebrate David Lynch's life and work, but at the same time it felt good knowing that, you know, so many people love his work and that people will be watching his movies forever, and everything he's done for cinema will live on. And yeah, I love David Lynch and I love Mulholland Drive, so this was amazing to see in the cinema. Number 16 is Cabaret, which I have heard songs from the soundtrack throughout my life, and probably like up until not long ago, honestly. As much as I am a fan of musicals, did not know it was actually from Cabaret. On Instagram and stuff, I'd seen little clips from Cabaret, and every time I saw a little bit more, I would be more pushed to watch it. And so I did, finally. I thought it was fantastic. It is a Bob Fosse film, who is also the choreographer. And yeah, those scenes are fantastic. It's so amazing to watch. Liza Minnelli is fantastic in this role, as always. A very fun and interesting movie to watch. So number 17, we go back to my Oscar movie watching, and I went and saw The Brutalist in the cinema. And a lot of the talking points for me, or that I would bring up with people, or people would say to me, was about the 3.5 hour long runtime of the film. I was skeptical at the start, I'm not gonna lie. I try to have an open mind, but 3.5 hours sounds really long. I think this movie earned it. I really enjoyed The Brutalist. I was very engaged through it. I loved the 15-minute interval. When I think about like an interval or an intermission in a movie, my mind automatically goes to The Sound of Music and Oliver, because their intervals used to feel so long to me as a kid. And mind you, I've seen both of those movies like hundreds of times, and every time it would get to that point where we'd have the intermission, I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's like an hour and it's probably like 3 minutes. Whereas like with The Brutalist, you literally sit there with the image on the screen and a countdown timer of 15 minutes. I thought the way that was done was fantastic. I loved the image that was used. If you know, you know. I loved the lead up to the intermission, and I loved how we kept it going afterwards. I'm so happy that I enjoyed The Brutalist. I think that it was pretty cool. Speaking of The Brutalist and performers from The Brutalist, here we have Guy Pearce and Claudia Carvin starring in Dating the Enemy. I loved this movie. It is a body swap movie set in Sydney, Australia in the 1990s, and it is so much fun. I like how deep it goes, because a lot of time body swap movies kind of gloss over issues if they address anything, or they are just there for fun. This is here for fun, but there's also things in it that I thought were really poignant and really interesting to bring up within these situations. I also want to show off this slipcover because it is one of my favorites. I remember seeing this on the shelf and being like, I will be getting you ASAP. It is so pretty. I love these colors, and to me it looks like a tarot card, and I love that. This is the Blu-ray out of the slipcase with this cover on it. And yeah, this movie is so much fun and so bright, and it's one that like I'm happy to and want to rewatch, which makes me very relieved when I watch movies like that. Number 19 is Uptown Girls, which is one of those movies that used to be put on TV on like a Friday night, and I would see 10 minutes here or there of random years of my life at random points. And I've had this for a couple of years now, and I was like, I need to watch it from beginning to end. I was so impressed by these actors. I was so impressed by the character and the humanness of it all. I love a great movie that feels like a character study, and I think this one may be like a bit looked over. I really don't want to speculate too much on it in a way that's like trying to make a point, but I do think this movie is a bit overlooked. When I watched this, I was like, this is amazing character study and character work, and Brittany Murphy is so amazing. I just remember feeling so impressed as I watched it. And again, I think this is an underrated movie for a few reasons, but if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Number 20, we're back with the Oscars, and this one I saw in the cinema, and that was Conclave. And I love the world that is set up in Conclave. I'm so intrigued by all of that. But the writing and the performances and the situation, just everything, the way that it plays out and builds up is fantastic. And again, one of those movies where humanness is explored, and I love that. I love to feel seen or to think about things a certain way and to explore things, because that's the point of learning and digging deeper. And so yeah, I'm glad that Conclave won an Academy Award, at least for the writing, because yeah, that screenplay was fantastic. Number 21 is Wonka. This was a rewatch. I saw Wonka when it came out in the cinema, and I enjoyed it then and I enjoy it now. It's a fun musical. I love a musical, and this movie is bright and it's fun. Timothée Chalamet is great in it. 22, we're back to the Oscars, and this one was for one of the Best Picture nominees, which was Nickel Boys. This movie was very dark. It was very confronting. It was done beautifully, but yeah, it's one of those movies where when you watch it, it is, like I say, confronting, but it's worth the watch to learn and to witness something that's important. Number 23, this is my last watch for February, and that is another Australian movie. This is Memoir of a Snail. It was nominated in the animation feature film category, and that makes me feel very proud because this movie is fantastic. My city is in it. It is very dark, it is very quirky, it's very human. It explores a lot of, again, dark subject matter in a style that maybe people aren't used to seeing animated characters in really terrible situations. So I think for that reason this movie is special, and really at no point did I know where it was going to go. So yeah, I highly recommend this movie if you love animation, or if you want to see something that's going to make you think and feel and yeah, appreciate life and all things within it. So that is my February wrap up. Those are all the movies that I watched in February. I have been watching a lot in March. I will let the month roll over and then do another one for March and see what else I end up getting to watch. If you sat through this video, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time for more movie and music talk.